And we're back. Joe, let's get into the Sunday recap. Man, I really wish you were here for the Thursday recap. That would have been a blast.
Yeah, I know. It was definitely bad timing after that terrible Thursday night game for me to not be able to be there. But you can imagine my thoughts during the game, the
I
things
let
I was saying to the TV during the game, all that stuff.
I let Soup go loose on it. All right, let's start in London. Surprising one. Giants come back, win 27-22 over the Packers. Giants are 4-1. How about that?
Surprising
Brian
indeed.
Dable. Packers drop to 3-2. Daniel Jones, no passing touchdowns, but he's looking decent. Too bad they have no wide receivers that are healthy there. So it's
Yeah, I know.
just
That's what I was
Saquon
about to
Barkley
say.
still. I mean Darius Slayton of the team in receptions. Haven't heard that name in a hot second. Uh,
Yeah.
on
There's
the
not much
Packers
to say on the
side,
Giants side. Yeah,
no.
good.
On the Packers side, I mean, again, this wide receiver room. I said last time Romeo Dobbs would be the only guy I would be maybe throwing a start, and Sue brought up Lazard because Lazard still catches touchdowns, and he did in
And
this game.
then
But I
Randall Cobb.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to gauge there. I I'll let you say your thoughts on the wide receiver room. I'll just say one thing. Aaron Jones, you continue to start. I don't think you can start AJ Dillon right now.
Max Crosby with the sack live update.
Live update. Max Crosby has just gotten
Are you
me
going to break 70?
over 70 points for
Let's
the
go.
weekend.
That is
For the
huge. Congratulations.
And there it is. We'll pop champagne as our team breaks 70 points. Fucking losers. Anyways, back to the Packers. Go
I
ahead.
mean, Lazard and Randall Cobb started to get those quick like screen plays that Romeo Dobbs was getting the past 2 weeks. That is something to look into. I don't see Randall Cobb being this every week guy
No,
like he
don't
was,
chase that.
but Lazard, I mean, I'm still willing if you need to start Lazard and Romeo Dobbs. I think probably next week I'll probably end up starting Romeo Dobbs because Devontae is going to be on bye. So I think those two guys are the two to play in this passing game. You kind of just have to you have to expect the ceiling to not be as crazy high as other wide receivers. Even though it is a good Packers offense that you would expect to have like a high ceiling with their wide receivers, I'm not really expecting that much, but I am willing to start them.
Like I said, real quick, you were talking about Max Crosby. Do you agree with me on this point? Aaron Jones keeps starting. AJ Dillon, I'm kind of off him to start right now.
Yeah, I think this is going to kind of be one of those situations where you need to see something change before you can really start him again.
One touchdown on the year that was in the first game. All right,
Yep.
to Buffalo. The Steelers get blown out 38-3. This was the Gabe Davis show, except he only had 3 catches, but it seemed like all of them were for a
Yeah,
mile.
I know.
Uh on the Steelers side, it's looking really dark.
Very.
I Najee Harris 11 for 20. I mean, that is rough. Someone was asking me who am I ranking higher for the rest of the year, Ken Walker or Najee Harris?
My God, what a question. That's actually that's
And right
crazy that
now,
we're
I'd
thinking of it.
stay with Najee just because he's the guaranteed guy. He gets all the work, but I mean, their schedule is brutal, and I don't know. George Pickens continues to be like
That's who I was going to mention.
he. I don't know because Deontay Johnson, who did not see, I think he saw one target from Kenny Pickett last week in the one half he played, gets 13 targets this game. Not a lot of production, but George Pickens is more involved now. I don't think you can start any of them right now. I mean,
No,
maybe Deontay Johnson in a flex, but not. I mean, what do you do with that?
I mean, I know that I'm sure nobody really wants to start them. I think if Pat Fryermuth misses time with this concussion, I think then that will bump up. I would be willing to start Deontay for sure. Kenny Pickett seems to have a connection with George Pickens.
He doesn't throw any touchdowns though.
No, he doesn't, and their offense doesn't get that many first downs really either.
4 picks for him on this young
Yeah,
start
it's
starting
hard to
career.
really commit to either one of those guys, but on the Bills side, you're happy with everyone. It's
Oh
just
yeah, there's
crazy
nothing to say
thing
about the
is
Bills.
crazy thing is Devin Singletary doesn't get involved when they win
No,
38-3.
no, they don't run the football. In Cleveland, the Chargers win 30-28 thanks to a missed field goal as the Cleveland Browns continue to Cleveland Brown. Uh, remember that? I think Cade York was praised for the big kick in week 1.
Yep.
Well,
They thought they finally found him.
shit got real, buddy. Mike Williams, 10 for 134. No touchdown this week, but how about Mike Williams stepping into that number one role? I have no idea what the story is with Keenan Allen. Uh,
I don't
Hopefully
know
he's
either.
back soon. But I mean, this has been 4 weeks of something that they did not seem to be very major. Cleveland side, Nick Chubb. I mean, he's the best running back in football. Pure
Kareem
running
Hunt
back.
finally found the end zone as well this game.
Amari Cooper back on the good side of things. I still like Amari Cooper for the rest of the year. And then David Njoku continues to be a solid tight end. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. Especially in the tight end world, which is already pretty bad. David Njoku has been getting it done ever since that like week 3 breakout game. One more guy that we've already talked about him, Austin Eckler, definitely just deserves another shout out for his like 15 carries for 180 yards or something crazy like that. Let me find it real quick. I know he went off in the box score. Austin Eckler 16 for 173.
No, he was
I
all over
mean,
the place on the
just
ground.
71 yards long, a 10.8 average. Just a great day for Austin Eckler, and the Chargers get a much needed win, to be honest.
Let's go to Jacksonville real quick on this one. One touchdown scored in this game. Houston
Boo.
is the last team to get a win. They are 1-3-1 as they beat Jacksonville 13-6. All right. Only things I can say about this. Are you concerned about James Robinson?
I am.
Bad week last week against Philly.
I
But this
am.
is a matchup he usually is pretty good.
I am because Travis Etienne looked good. You didn't see him that much on red zone, but if you just look at the stats themselves, he looked good. He had a few big chunk runs. He got a little bit of passing work as well, and I don't believe the split was as like different as it usually is. Let's see here. I know Travis Etienne had 10 carries. James Robinson had 10 carries. There it is. Travis Etienne 10 for 71 and James Robinson 10 for 27. So they kind of roles reversed with their yards per carry because in the past few weeks, James Robinson's been the guy that has these big chunk plays and has been getting it done. And Travis Etienne kind of took over that role this week, as well as 3 for 43 in the air. James Robinson only 2 for 12 in the air.
Look at that.
Not that,
JaMychal Hasty playing for the Jaguars.
yeah, not that I'm saying Travis Etienne is going to like take over this backfield, but I am saying that I'm tampering my expectations with James Robinson, considering that this could continue going forward.
Houston side, Damian Pierce. Keep starting him. He's
Yep.
looking better and better, and they're putting this faith in him. Brandon Cooks, I mean, because Houston is not a very good offensive
Hasn't
team,
been getting it
sometimes
done.
you're going to have weeks like that. Should still, I mean, still tied for the most targets. Remember, you get a piece who's I think is a good wide receiver, just in a bad offense. Rest of Jacksonville receiving wise, Marvin Jones. I mean, that's a mess because you thought Christian Kirk, Zay
Yeah.
Jones, they play this week, and now Marvin Jones is back. And of course, Evan Ingram has a good week after I started him 2 weeks in a row and he sucked. And then I started con goose goose. All right, let's go to Minnesota. Chicago Bears, they suck, and I'm sick of watching them. Minnesota wins 29-22. End up sweating it out. They didn't need to. Look, he still hasn't gotten there yet. I don't know if you listened to the last episode. Justin Fields, I'm waiting for when he catches up to Joe Flacco's passing attempts for the year. He's not there yet. Joe played 3 games. This is now Justin Fields' 5th game. Just putting that out there. Like you said, David Montgomery, good. Dalvin Cook finally has a real good week, and Justin Jefferson. So besides, Adam Thielen, which we said to temper expectations as Derek Carr goes long and finds a
Devontae
wide open Devontae
Adams.
Adams for a touchdown.
That's good and bad. I am playing against Derek Carr in another league that I really need to win.
Oh,
And so that's not good. But
it must be
I need
nice to
Devontae
watch
to
your
do that
player score
four
a
more
touchdown. I
times.
haven't seen that in weeks. Anyways, back to this Minnesota game. Joe, I mean, you have anything to say about the Bears? Nothing to say about Minnesota. They did their
No,
thing.
I definitely don't have anything to say about Chicago Bears.
You're shaking your head
I
furiously.
don't.
You do not want
It's
to talk about
stinky.
them.
Stinky,
You know,
stinky,
it
stinky.
was a tough game to watch. My sweet, sweet Lions. Oh, they get talk about gooses, the ultimate goose. They get shut out by the Patriots in New England, 29
Shocking.
nothing.
It's honestly shocking. The
Bailey
zap zap.
Zappi, yeah, he zapped them. Ramondre Stevenson had a great day. I think everyone thought the matchup was really good for both running backs. It
Yep.
just happened to be hamstring injury takes Damian Harris out, and Ramondre gets the backfield to himself. Didn't find the end zone, but 161 yards. Come on, that's good stuff.
Looking back on it, if I wasn't the day that you guys recorded was hectic for me. I texted you guys on the way to practice my start of the week, and it was literally just I looked up some matchups and I saw Aaron Jones against the Giants. I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. And if I would have looked through it, I would have loved to have said Patriots running back, either one, as my start of the week against Detroit, because that matchup has just been a home run for any running back. I still stand by my sit of the week, which was Russell Wilson, of course, because I hate you. But I wish I would have had a little more time and actually looked down on it because I would have liked to have had Ramondre and Damian Harris, the kind of combo as my start of the week, but that's neither here nor there. Jamal Williams finally came back down to earth. Did not find the end
Well,
zone
the whole
twice in a
offense
week.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was just highlighting that considering he had like 2 touchdowns in 3 of the 4 first weeks.
Oh, I know.
And then on the Patriots side, Ramondre Stevenson already mentioned. Jacoby Myers really back from the injury as if he was never left. 7 for 111 and 1. I mean, he's somebody that I think he's the one guy in the passing game for the Patriots that you should start every week.
Yeah, I don't know what to say there. Let's go to New Orleans. The Saints win 39-32 over the Seahawks. This is another good day for Rashad Penny till he gets hurt. 8 for 54, but then Cam Walker takes over, 8 carries, 88 yards, and a touchdown. Like we said earlier, he'll be a hot guy on the waivers. Tyler Lockett, 5 for 104 with 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf, 5 for 88 with a touchdown. DK Metcalf could have had 3 touchdowns. He had one called back and he dropped one in the end zone. So
Yep.
Geno Smith is that guy. Kamara had a very, I'd say, like old school McCaffrey day where he put up a lot of points without scoring a touchdown. 23 carries for 103 yards, 6 catches for 91. That'll do it right there. That's almost 200 all-purpose yards for Kamara. Taysom Hill, obviously, what a vulture. 9 carries for 112 yards, 3 touchdowns, also threw for one. Olave had a good day and he left early. He was my other start of the week, and I think he finished like in the mid-teens. If he doesn't go out, I could have had 2 starts of the week in the Tylers and my sit of the week in the Soups. God, I got the hot hand except for my team.
I think you said that backwards, but I understood what you meant.
Yep, that's it. Sometimes I just like Tyler better than Soup. How about that? Speaking of Soup, let's go to his Sweet Jets. They win 40-17.
40-17.
So
Crazy.
let me say something real quick. I don't know. There were 2 quarterbacks this week that played. One started, one played pretty much the entire game, and their first names were Bailey and Skyler. Um, that's
Huh.
those are gender neutral names, I guess. But I
Huh.
wouldn't think I'd see. The best part is they can play each other. The Dolphins and Patriots, Bailey versus Skyler.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, Teddy Bridgewater was knocked out very early from Sauce Gardner, who looked great. Had
Got his
that,
first interception.
yeah, he did. Jets wise, it was all about Brees Hall, and Michael Carter came in and vultured 2 touchdowns.
Twice, I know.
Unbelievable. So it could have been even a better day. Brees Hall, though, 18 for 97 on the ground with a touchdown, and then 2 catches for 100 yards. His targets went down a
Crazy.
little bit. Obviously, they were not trailing in this game, so that's the reason why. I'll let you take the Miami side because it looks like Miami has a new star in their running back room, and its name is not Chase Edmonds.
No, it is not. I did just recently trade you Chase Edmonds, but not like I
I
got that
wasn't.
much in
I like to say
return.
I
Yeah,
took that
no.
trade. I wasn't thinking Chase Edmonds was going to be the guy. He's just kind of insurance, little
Yeah,
depth piece.
no, I definitely understand that. That's why I wasn't trying to put too much emphasis on that. I was just bringing it up. Raheem Mostert, the monster, as Nicky Manzoni would call him, Raheem Monster, I think he used to say. He had 18 for 111 or something like that. Something
113 with a touchdown,
113 and a
and he looked
touchdown.
good. He looks good coming back from
95%
that
of
injury.
snaps. Yeah, he does look good. And he's 30 years old and he's getting that kind of work the past couple weeks with the Dolphins. He's kind of taken over this backfield, and that usually you follow the money, and Chase Edmonds was where the money was in this backfield. But doesn't seem to be that way. Pass catchers were pretty underwhelming considering they had to play with the third string quarterback, Skylar Thompson, like you mentioned, Skylar. Yeah, Tyreek Hill led the way in the passing game, 7 for 47, but really nothing crazy to highlight. It was a weird game. Seeing the Jets put up 40 points, we haven't seen that in a while, at least with a Zach Wilson led Jets team against the Dolphins.
Tough day for Jalen Waddle too. Just tough all around. And then obviously the passing game for the Jets, just not really there. They didn't need it. That was the thing. They were able to run all day.
Yep.
Let's go to Tampa. 21-15, the final.
Almost blew that game.
Yeah, and so I didn't see it until today. Afterwards, did Max Crosby just get another sack, or maybe just another
I
tackle
think
for
that was
loss?
a tackle for loss. Yep.
Too bad it doesn't mean anything anymore. Yeah, I'm willing on Max Crosby, an individual defensive player, to have a 60-point game. Yeah. So this game ended on that pass interference call. Did you see it?
Or the roughing the passer call.
Yes,
wasn't
yes,
that?
my bad. That's what I meant. The roughing the
Yeah, it
passer
wasn't
call.
roughing the passer.
It's a normal tackle.
Yeah, it was. It was indeed a normal tackle.
Mariota looked like shit again.
Yep.
Um, I mean, Zacchaeus gets in the end zone. That's it for Atlanta.
They
Uh,
tried to make a comeback in the fourth
maybe,
quarter, but
yeah.
the ref stopped that
Good
one.
day for Leonard Fournette and Rashad White. It's interesting to gauge him. I think he's a good stash on a bench. I have him in a deep league. He he has a lot of value. I think he's a very good player. But my thing is like, as long as Fournette's there, he's not going to have a great amount of value. And as
Yeah.
long as, so you're thinking maybe a year or two down the line, this is just something I've been thinking about. How good is he going to be without Tom Brady?
That's something that we have no idea considering
Yeah,
Tom
because
Brady's throwing the ball 50 plus times a game and they're getting a lot of checkdowns to the running back position. And I mean, is Kyle Trask going to be that kind of guy? Because I mean, he's like next up in that quarterback room. So who knows
so
what kind of offense is going to look like when Tom does leave?
so that's my thing. I think Rashad White's a very good player, but just when it is his turn, this offense could look completely different. So just my
No,
thoughts on it.
I'm with you. It's a big question mark, just like what we were questioning what the Patriots were going to look like when Tom left. Who knows what Rashad White can truly be? He seems to have a great role in the passing game already there in Tampa, and I think if Leonard Fournette ever does go down, Rashad White is a great play, especially with this offense with Tom now.
Fournette, 10 catches. Jeez. I
I
mean,
know it's just
uh,
crazy.
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, solid days, nothing special. Neither of them found the end zone. Only 21 points for the Buccaneers. I think we were expecting a little
Yep.
more. Here's a great game I want to bring up. The Commanders drop one.
God, I didn't know what you were going to say.
21-17. Titans win. I saw the first half of this game. Then when I got to the studio, I watched the last play, which was the interception. And here's what I wanted to bring up earlier. Ron Rivera, stone cold. I don't have a problem with Ron Rivera, but there's sometimes he makes comments that I think are just unnecessary. Like he's
Oh,
kind of
he
a dick.
does.
Like
Oh yeah.
like I
He
look,
he comes off as like a
Carson is Carson.
know-it-all, but he doesn't prove to know it
He's
all.
never
You
won
know?
anything.
No, I
He's
mean
been to a Super Bowl and they got
Cam Newton
blown
could,
out.
yeah, exactly.
So I just thought it was like a little fucked that they were asked like, "Hey, you guys are falling behind in the division. What do you think the reason is? Like the difference between you and those teams?" And he just said quarterback, just completely throwing Carson underneath the bus.
I
Like
mean,
this team is
the guy
anywhere.
had 359 and two. I mean, he threw an interception and his QBR wasn't great either, but like, it's not all on Carson Wentz. He did throw the pick at the end of the game, but it's not all on Carson
That
Wentz.
was
I
a
mean,
great play. That was a great play by the defender. Diving, making that interception. Anyways, Derrick Henry, 102, two touchdowns on 28 carries. Nothing in the passing game you're really looking for. I mean,
nope, not at all.
on the other side, De'Ami Brown, we said two touchdowns on two catches,
He had a Gabe
105
Davis type
yards.
stat line. But the one thing I do want to look at more, not really to talk about more, but just to highlight it, is that Brian Robinson did have 9 carries to Antonio Gibson's 3 carries. I thought it was more than that. Oh my God, 3 for 6 on the ground.
JD
Brian,
McKissick, not a single carry, huh?
nope. Brian Robinson only 9 for 22 on the ground, but I mean his first game back, so you can't expect too much there. But is a good thing to see for Brian Robinson managers. I mean, to have 9 carries, 3 times many carries as Antonio Gibson in his first week back. So the
Terry
Washington's
McLaurin
sorry,
has
good.
Terry McLaurin has just not been it.
Nope.
Not even scary Terry in this month of October.
Crazy. He's just not getting the wide receiver one targets on a team like other guys have gotten. Like
Curtis Samuel
obviously
is the number one targeted guy on this team, and he continues to be.
that's because Carson Wentz loves throwing these 5 yard completions. I'm telling you, and they're not always completions, but like when you just look at other like target shares, like with Justin Jefferson, Mike Williams now with Keenan Allen out, Stephon Diggs, guys of that stature, like those wide receiver ones of the team. I'm not saying Terry McLaurin should be that, considering usually the big difference there is the quarterback. I'm not trying to be Ron Rivera, but quarterback is the difference there in those sort of deals. But he's not getting the peppered targets on a week to week basis that I was expecting this year with Carson Wentz, expecting that to be the Michael Pittman esque that Carson Wentz did have with Michael Pittman with Terry McLaurin now, and it's just not happening.
Let's go to Carolina. Should have been brought up in news. He is gone,
Oh, you're
canned.
right.
And I said he
You
wasn't
said
lasting
it.
the
We knew
season
it. We
so
knew
many
it.
times. It just took one more blowout loss. 37-15. San Francisco takes the Panthers to the woodshed.
No
And Matt
kidding.
Rhule, well, he's still going to be owed that $40 million, but he won't be coaching the Panthers anymore. He gets his ass canned. Goodbye, Matt Rhule. Who knows if anything changes for this team? Baker Mayfield, I think, left in a walking boot. PJ Walker took snaps.
I hope PJ
Sam,
Walker. I
I
hope
love
PJ
PJ
Walker
Walker.
plays. Yeah, I like PJ Walker too, and I
PJ Walker
think
was an XFL MVP, I think, or at least the equivalent to their Pro Bowl.
and I think PJ Walker's smart enough to pepper targets to his best player. I mean, obviously Christian McCaffrey, but his best wide receiver, DJ Moore, who should be so much more involved than he is.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree. And obviously, Sam Darnold, I guess, would be the second string, still hurt. Has not come back. So if Mayfield's missing
Yep.
time, the gunslinger PJ Walker
Let's
is
go. I
coming
hope that
back.
happens.
Let's make the Panthers fun again.
Let's do
Uh,
it.
Here we go again. I keep forgetting this guy's name. He led the team in receiving. He looks like Steve Smith because it's S. Smith
Yeah.
or the Panthers, but it's not. So if you could figure that out for me, DJ Moore 459, McCaffrey
His name is
750,
Shy Smith.
Shy Smith. How about that? I mean, yeah, this is dreadful to look at for the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey has been he's probably been what I'd say probably in that top tier picks, the most consistent. I mean, even his bad weeks, he wasn't killing you.
Yeah, he hasn't had that boom week just yet, like 30 plus points, but he hasn't. I don't think he's had a week under like 15 points, maybe 12 points is his floor right now. Which
Last
I
two
mean,
weeks he's scored too, so he's lived in like the mid-20s.
yeah, and I mean even that floor is low for Christian McCaffrey, but I mean he comes in as the RB4 right now. His lowest week is 14.5. I mean, and he's only found the end zone 3 times so far this year. So everything's on the up and up for Christian McCaffrey as long as he stays healthy.
On San Fran's side, Jeff Wilson 17 for 120 with a touchdown. Obviously, Tevin Coleman came in and did some damage. 2 touchdowns, one through the air as I watch a field
Wide
goal
right.
missed. All right. Well, did Debo Samuel have a bad game, huh?
Yeah, I mean he did get in the end zone, but
Oh,
I
okay,
mean
yeah,
Brandon
rushing
Ayuk, but Brandon Ayuk, you look
or
at the
receiving.
receiving leader on the game is Brandon Ayuk for 3 for 58. So I mean,
Debo only 30, 32 total yards from scrimmage.
yeah,
Interesting.
shocking.
They didn't really need it though. They rolled them. Let's go to Arizona. Missed kick cost the Cardinals. They have now continued their home losing streak. They lose the Eagles 20-17. Philly's now 5-0. Jalen Hurts doesn't throw touchdown passes. He just takes them in himself. 15 for 61, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Receiving wise, Dallas Goedert is so good, dude.
Yeah, I know.
And I think it's just
So
the offense overall.
undervalued. I think if Sam Smith could go back right now, he would have never traded for Kyle Pitts and would have rode with Dallas Goedert.
Devonta Smith, 10 for 87. So it was Devonta week, I guess. AJ Brown, 3 for 32. Oh, dude, it was rough to watch. I had that
shocking
on.
too, to be honest. This was a close game. It's not like they were running the ball the entire time.
Oh.
Devontae Smith, I watched him get like 5 screenplays. It was crazy.
Why not let AJ take those? The man can move.
Yeah.
James Conner, 9 for 55. I don't even think he played the second half. So
he did. He left in the second quarter, late second quarter.
Awesome. Marquise Brown, 8 for 78 and a touchdown. He's a top 5 fantasy option.
I know.
Should be noted, one more week, and then following D-Hop
Yep.
returns.
Yep.
So we'll see how that shakes out with the offense because DeAndre Hopkins is going to demand targets. Besides that,
targets.
Besides that, not much else to talk about here. Go to the next game.
Let's do it.
How about Bill Pat on the back for myself? I went out and grabbed another league, Dallas Cowboys defense.
Dude, I had them too.
Yep. The Rams are in trouble. They look bad. Stafford threw for 300 yards, but a pick. I believe he fumbled twice, didn't he? Yep. He had, I think, 2 strip sacks for the Cowboys.
A lot too.
CeeDee Lamb 553, so coming down. Tony Pollard got into the end zone. Zeke 22 for 78, not looking terrible. Just kind of depends on who gets in the end zone for the running backs at this point. Look at that! Look at that or the target share. Only 4 Dallas players received targets, and one of them was Dalton Schultz, who had 1 and then left. 8 targets for CeeDee Lamb, 5 targets for Michael Gallup, 2 for is it Noah Brown? Right?
Yep, Noah Brown.
That's it. No one else got anything. But Cooper Rush is just the greatest of all time. He's now 5-0 as a starter. Unbelievable. For the Rams, they look like shit except for Cooper Kupp, who's 7 for 125 and a touchdown, a huge 75-yard touchdown catch.
Yeah,
I mean, they look bad. What
they
did Allen
do, but
Robinson
it's
do this
it's
week?
really the offensive line in the run game is just non-existent. It's
Can we check in
crazy.
on Allen Robinson? 3 for 12.
Allen
Okay.
Robinson just terrible. Andy
Um.
Holloway's my guy, terrible.
Uh. And then our final game. Uh. Yeah, they did it. The Baltimore Ravens exercise their demons. They win a
Justin
home
Tucker,
game.
dude. Justin
They,
Tucker MVP. Every
that's
single
true.
year he
Did
should
you
be
see
the
the
MVP.
stat? Did you see the stat about the ball travel for that kick?
Uh-uh.
So
I
the
fell asleep in like the third quarter, I'm not gonna lie, so I didn't see
okay,
the end of this game.
I don't have the exact quote in front of me. It took me a second to find on Twitter, but essentially, how do you? It's like 56 yards or something, 52 yards. How wide the field, a football field is.
Okay.
His kick traveled at the exact middle of the field, like 26 point something. So someone's like this, and that was the game winning kick. Someone said if you put the field goal post and it was only a half yard wide, it still would have been good.
Oh my
That's how
god.
directly
So he hit it dead center, basically
dead
is what you're
center as
saying.
I watch Hunter
I'm not
Renfro
surprised.
probably hurt his head again.
He did that on one of his kicks earlier in the game too. Just split it down the middle. I think it was the 58 yarder.
And then just that celebration where he was just
Yeah,
standing
where
there
he
with the
just
arms
stares at the
out.
crowd. It was so
Yeah,
cool.
he's
He was just.
a dude.
I
He's
almost
something
said
else.
something in our group chat like, "I wish Justin Tucker was my kicker," just because there is just never a doubt when the man when the man comes on the field, 3 points are going to the Baltimore Ravens every single time.
Yeah, he's definitely a blessing to have. Mark Andrews back on track, 8 for 89, a touchdown. Not Lamar's best game. J.K. Dobbins, 8 for 44. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
It was kind of a
I saw too much Kenyon Drake. If I'm being honest.
yeah. I don't know what that was about. It was just it was like a division game where there just wasn't a lot of scoring. A lot of
Yep,
field position play. I mean, not much more to say about that. Devin Duvernay looked good, I thought,
he did. I
with
thought so
Rashad
too.
Bateman out.
Devin Duvernay getting involved kind of in the backfield a little bit too, and kind of getting involved in space. I thought he looked pretty well. So filling in for Rashad Bateman, I think you could have some slight confidence that Devin Duvernay is definitely going to get involved in the offense.
Hayden Hurst, 6 for 53 and a touchdown in his revenge game. Jamar Chase,
Yeah,
dude, what is up? So he had 30 points in the first game. Ever since then, I think it's been 11, 12, 13, 11, or maybe 12. I mean, he's sitting around averaging 12 points if you take out that first game. I mean, plenty of targets. They're not throwing the ball down the field. And I know a lot of it's from the offensive line, but there were times last night that Burrow was getting time and whatever they're playing, probably too high. I mean, they just cannot throw the ball down the field, especially not to Jamar Chase. He's getting
yeah,
targeted within 5 yards, a lot of scrimmage every time.
that's looking strange as well as the run game. I mean, don't
Joe
get me
Mixon,
wrong, the
14
stat
for
line for
78.
Joe Mixon, I know he didn't find the end zone, but his 14 for 78 sounds good with the 5.6 average. But he had a long of 12, and he had a lot of those like chunk like runs for like 5 to 8 yards, and then a lot of like getting stuffed at the line plays. So run game's not looking great. The Bengals offense as a whole has been very strange this year. But yeah, I don't really have too much else to say. Mark Andrews was Mark Andrews. He's always locked in your lineup. Yeah, Justin Tucker comes in clutch for the Ravens at the end of the game.
That was the Sunday football recap. Joe, last thing of the day, you want to get into our week 6 Thursday night football preview.
Yes, indeed.
So, first thing everyone should know, look out. Week 6, first week of buys. I'll just read them for you right now. The Detroit Lions, the Houston Texans, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Tennessee Titans will not be playing in week 6. So, if you got players on those teams, you're going to have to pivot and put somebody else in. On to Thursday night football, the Washington Commanders. Boy, this was like the big meme after that terrible Thursday night game
Yep.
last week. The
Like, wait till next Thursday.
Washington Commanders go into Chicago. The 1-4 Commanders play the 2-3 Bears. This, I mean, I think this would be better. There's going to be a touchdown in this game. How about that?
That's a hell of a call.
Washington's got some fun people to. I think. I mean, you'll get to see Brian Robinson maybe get a little
Yeah.
more, but
I
their
hope
wide
this is a
receivers are
breakout
very
game
good.
for him. Not even for fantasy, just for NFL, because I am a Washington fan. I hope that Brian Robinson kind of takes over this game, takes over the backfield, and really breaks out. It'll be awesome to see, just a feel good story. And we really need it.
I
We
saw
really need a
something.
win.
I saw something when he came out for the intro. I don't know if this was a lie But it was a verified account. It was like NFL on like Fox or something played it. That he came out to Many Men by 50 Cent. The song about him getting shot and coming back.
I don't know that, but that would be so cool if it was. I don't know that to be
I
true.
saw a video of it, but I didn't know if it was real or not. Anyways, it's right now. The spread is even. It's a straight pick 'em over under 38. So that should just let you know we're in for an absolute barn burner.
Yummy.
Good Lord. Yeah. I'll take
I'm
the
on
Commanders.
Washington. Come on.
I'm on the Commanders. How about that, Joe?
I'm gonna blindly pick them for the most part. I mean, I'm not crazy like blind Washington Commanders chooser every week. I know that I said that pretty weird, but like usually I'm pretty honest with what I think, even though we're 1-4, so clearly I've been wrong a lot. But I'm gonna be on Washington here against Chicago. I don't see how in the world I can pick Chicago over Washington.
I still don't think you can start any Chicago pass catchers. If you want the stat
Nah.
to know for this game, by the way, Carson Wentz has 210 pass attempts on the year. Justin Fields has 88.
88 for life.
Unbelievable. 679 passing yards through 5 games. 3 touchdowns.
That's pretty terrible considering Carson Wentz has almost 1,400 yards passing already. And another stat, while we're just talking about bad stats, 19 receptions, 326 yards. That is our receiving leader on the year in the Washington Commanders. Terry McLaurin. Somehow he's still the receiving leader. I guess because Curtis Samuel doesn't get the yards. But
I guess
Curtis runs the ball. We're through 5 weeks, and he only has 326 yards in the air. Terry McLaurin. Just 2 pretty bad offenses, to be honest, and 2 defenses. So 38 over-under makes sense. We'll kind of see what happens.
Let's get some points. Let's root for the over. How about that?
Awesome. Let's root for the over. I'm with you.
Hey, Joe, that's all I got. I mean, this has not been a fun as far as
I know
this league for me. It's been really rough, but
kind of a lull of an episode. Leagues. I mean, where neither one of us are going to get a win this week. You're dealing with just one of the craziest fantasy lineups I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Your roster. Too many guys on your team in the news and notes for the injuries. Just a lot of guys we're playing against on the Soups of the Week. Just not too good for the fantasy Eastside Fantasy Football co-hosts here.
Well, Joe, if you want to go and plug stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a Twitter.
We do.
At EastsideFF, capital
Did you hear,
E-S
real quick,
FF.
did you hear Soup plug it last week?
I didn't. I didn't
Flubbed
listen to it. Did he? What'd he say?
Said Eastside Fantasy Football, Eastside FF, capital E, capital S, and then there's 2 F's in there.
Soup, if you made it this far in the podcast, thank you again. Yeah, at EastsideFF on Twitter. Go ahead and follow us there. We're also on Apple Podcasts and YouTube at Eastside Fantasy Football. I mean, we're just 2 amazing fantasy football players that you really want to listen to everything we have to say. Although we have had some bad luck.
You're listening to my starts and sits of the week, though. You're on fire.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I'm just whining because I'm going to lose this week. My team is doing fine. I have nothing to really complain about, so I'm just messing around.
Thanks for listening. Share with your friends. Give us a like and a follow. I'm Nick Testoni, Joe Briner. Hey, Matt Rhule is gone. Guess what? Frank Reich, we're coming for you next.
Yep, you're next, buddy. You're next, mister.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you on Friday.
Good luck with any Monday Night Miracles.